Good morning, everybody. My name is Kenny Jordan, and this is England First. It's just struck 8 o'clock in the morning on the 6th of the 7th, and today I'm going to be covering fairly briefly the events that took place yesterday to do with Palestine action and the protests outside Parliament Square. I'm just going to briefly go over the posts by the Metropolitan Police that were posted yesterday. There was 3 of those that are sort of relaying the needed information, and then a couple of other things as well. So I'll get straight into it and I won't waste your time. So the first post was posted yesterday by the account Officers are responding to a protest in support of Palestine action in Parliament Square. The group is now being prescribed and expressing support for them is a criminal offence. Arrests are being made and further updates will be shared here. They replied to that with an update just an hour later. Officers have arrested more than 20 people on suspicion of offences under the Terrorism Act 2000. They have been taken into custody. Palestine Action is a prescribed group and officers will act where criminal offences are committed. They later responded with a final update on this post. A total of 29 arrests were made during this afternoon's protest in support of Palestine Action in Parliament Square. They will remain in custody. So they're the 3 tweets posted by the Metropolitan Police. So in total we have 29 arrests that were made yesterday. Various people, various ages. There was a key one that stuck out, which I'm going to get onto right now, which was a retired 83-year-old priest. This one's probably the one that's caused the most attention as an individual arrest. I'm sure you can imagine why. With what's going on now, all the sort of protests, what threat is an 83-year-old retired priest? But it's quite simple, really. Whether you regard Palestine Action as a terrorist group yourself, the government certainly do. So the current law is you cannot support Palestine Action. You cannot be sitting outside of Parliament, with these signs and preaching whatever they were preaching. Like I say, if you don't think Palestine Action should be regarded as a terrorist group, that is a completely separate issue and something I'm not really going to be talking about. But briefly, as you may have heard, or if you haven't, members of Palestine Action, I believe it was 4, broke into a army base and damaged aircraft. So this is what really forced Labour's hand into classing Palestine Action as a terrorist group. And it was probably a shock to most Palestine Action members or supporters, because these were likely Labour voters to begin with, so I imagine they are not pleased at all. Now you can imagine the outcry, the outrage of fascism and all the rest of it, and suppression of freedom of speech, which we don't really have in England anyway. We don't really have freedom of speech in the same way the States have it. You can't actually say what you want, which people seem to forget. That isn't actually, it's not a right we have in this country in the same sense. It's not, we don't have a constitution like America do, an amendment saying we can say what we like as they do. So no, you can't say what you want. It's not fascism, it's just the law. A law admittedly I personally would like changed, but at the minute it is the law and you have to follow the law. There's no exceptions elsewhere. Why would there be exceptions here? You can always appeal for things to be changed, but yeah, start a petition saying that people shouldn't be arrested for committing literal crimes. Whether you think it should be a crime, again, doesn't matter. It is currently a crime, and therefore the police were doing their job, which is a rare sight to see. So moving on from that, you've obviously got lots of as well as your everyday individuals posting on X. You've got MPs like Zara Sultan posting on X. Just to read her tweet that she posted, 27 people, including a priest, professor and health workers, were arrested today under terrorism laws. So admitting it was under terrorism laws, aka breaking the law. And then in a second sentence says, their crime, ? Peacefully holding signs opposing genocide. This is how we sleepwalk into fascism. So this is a stupid tweet to begin with. I am not the biggest fan of Zara anyway. She said 27 people arrested. Well, it was actually 29, so she's wrong there to begin with. That's from the Metropolitan account. If my number's wrong, the police got it wrong. So that's 29, quoting their tweet, and their first tweet was 20. So maybe if she said 20, I'd give her the benefit of the doubt. They later released a tweet of 29, fair enough. But to begin with, she's wrong. It's actually more. So it's 29 people, not 27. I don't know the professions or industries that the others worked in. I can't verify that one was a professor, health worker, and including a retired priest. Although she doesn't say the woman was retired. But I don't see how their jobs come into play. I guess it's to make you feel bad and seem that they're intelligent and good people. I imagine that's the play here, but it's entirely not relevant. Their crime, ? Well, you admitted to their crime in your first section of the post, where you said, I quote, we're arrested today under terrorism laws, aka breaking terrorism laws, and then questioning what was the crime. It's a bit stupid. You're an MP. You would think it would be normal to be a bit more intelligent, maybe read your tweet back to yourself before you actually post it. And then says peacefully holding signs opposing genocide. Now, I can't say I was there and I watched the entire protest, but they probably were, I imagine. I imagine they were sitting there peacefully holding their signs, which I can respect that, but what I can't respect is you holding a sign for a terrorist group. And again, whether you consider Palestine Action a terrorist group is not relevant. The fact is they are defined as a terrorist group now because of the army base break-in and destruction of property, damage of aircraft. So they shot themselves in the foot there, really, and then finally says this is how we sleepwalk into fascism, which again is just a stupid statement, and I don't really even feel I have to elaborate on that, really. So yeah, it's an interesting one, as you can imagine. Like I've said, the left, mostly Labour voters, pro-Palestine, etc., have been outraged by this, and calling for Starmer to resign and all sorts of things. So, which is, so I say surprising. It's not really surprising. That's not the right word. But not what they were expecting, certainly, from a government. I assume, I'm guessing, I'm pretty sure it's an educated guess to say they would have voted Labour and not Tories, and certainly not Reform. Anyone who is pro-Palestine Action, for the most part. Maybe not all, but most. So yeah, it would be a little bit of a shooting themselves in the foot there. But yeah, going back to the 83-year-old retired priest. Yeah, this is obviously a bit of the main one of the group that's being spoken about. Obviously saying, how is this 83-year-old woman a threat? Well, she's not a threat. Not that I go around beating old ladies up, but I reckon I can take her if need be. I don't think she's a threat, at least in the physical category. Obviously not. But yeah, their point is still stupid. Holding up signs for Palestine Action is just not acceptable. If you want to start a petition, for the government to reconsider, that's a completely separate thing. But going out and breaking the law is not okay. But I'm interested to hear what other people's thoughts on it, other people's takes on it. Largely, I don't think you can disagree with the a law was broken part, but I would like to hear if you think the banning of Palestine Action, them being regarded as a terrorist group, is wrong, right, etc. Because to be honest, I'm not the most educated individual when it comes to Palestine and Israel and all of what is going on there. Personally, it's not something I'm particularly involved with or am interested in, and certainly don't think her government should be getting involved in. So yeah, feel free to give your comments, opinions, and yeah, I'll respond to them if any of you do. And I look forward to seeing any of them. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to wrap it up there. I don't want this to drag on too long. I'll keep you guys updated on any developments with this, although I doubt there'll be too many. It will be mostly the same regurgitated posts for the next few days until people find something else to be mad at. So I wish you a good day to you all, and thank you for listening if you made it this far, and I'll see you next time.